Hey guys, DAB here, and today we are talking about 10 things you didn't know about maps in Minecraft. You probably saw from the title, but I'll just reiterate it. Anyways, so we all know that Minecraft worlds are endless. At least in theory. So of course, maps would be added to the games to help the players navigate the sea biomes and surrounding of the things on their journey when they're on adventure, you know? So now, they aren't very cheap. I understand that maps are quite expensive to get in Minecraft, and they come in really handy. So in this video, I'm going to talk about 10 things you don't know about maps in Minecraft. But before we jump in, remember to give the like button a love tap and subscribe for more content like this and basically everything about Minecraft. So here we go. Here is number 10. We can see that we can track our friends and ourselves on the maps. It's pretty obvious. That's why I've put it at number 10. And the thing is, you can also, it's a nice great way to track your friends or enemy and surprise them with a trap or attack, you know? Or if you want to, you can be nice and leave them some food, but nobody really does that. So this also works on large servers with no mods or plugins. In order to do this, a copy of the original map has to be given to every player. That's the only problem, but you can do that in the beginning and just kind of trick them into doing that and saying, let's just put all maps together and then we can all just kind of see where we all are and we can help each other out. But actually you have got secret plans in mind to trap them. Anyways, so the maps will be synced together and they'll update information for everybody, allowing other players to know where everyone else is and for you to trick them. So that's number 10 for you. Alright, now the next one is not actually on the list, but I'm going to give you a bonus because some people don't know how to make maps, and I understand everybody starts somewhere. So I'm going to teach you how to make maps, and then you can make maps yourself and how they work. So basically you need to have paper and a compass, and it's really easy. You're just going to take, now the compass is quite expensive, paper's not so much. There's a little trick I can also teach you, another extra bonus right here is you can just right click and then just move over it, and yeah, it just fills it in. So it's kind of easier. I'm just making sure it's right or left. Put the compass in the middle and there you have a map. Now it's an empty map. So what you need to do, okay, so you're on here and I'm going to make it map generation right here and generated this map over here. Now you can see it's not loading all the way at the back there. So make sure you do figure out which way am I going, and in creative it's a bit easier, but you can also do it in, see, it doesn't take too long to generate that map. It's just rendering the chunks technically. So just move in that area and you can see yourself kind of loading the chunks. There we go. There's your map all the way completed. So that's how you kind of make a map and how you make it full map. And yep, that's pretty easy. So that's just a bonus tip for you guys. All right, so number 9, maps are always shown the same way. When first opening the map on Minecraft, it feels a bit overwhelming and confusing, I understand. Thankfully, all maps are always operated in the same way, and they are also laid out pointing north up, south bottom, west on the left, and east on the right. All players need to do then is to orientate themselves in a way in which is the easiest to doing that by pressing F3. Now, if F3 is not an option, you can also just keep in mind that the sun always rises on the east and sets in the west. All right. Cool, guys. Next one. Now for number 8, they won't center your player in the beginning, right? So when you make your map, it's not going to be centered on your player. Unless the player happens to be at the center square shaped zone in the map, which is pretty much like wow. But if you do get that right, yo, props to you. This means that the player needs to make several maps to fully show the player's base of spawn area. Number 7, cartography tables are incredibly useful. Introducing in the 1.14 update, cartography tables are highly convenient tools. Now, we've been using them for a very long time, and I want to show you how to use them so you can just watch on the video. So the tables are basically found in the villages with the cartographers or villages, but you can also make them yourself by using wooden planks, 4 wooden planks, and 2 pieces of paper. It's pretty easy, and they're quite nice to use, and they're pretty handy. So the table allows the players to expand or zoom out maps. Make sure there's a ton of paper around, since this is done by placing paper more around the available slots. Players can also combine 2 maps of the same area to make one single or more complete map. Locking maps is one more option which will prevent the map from ever updating, even if terrain changes. So the next one is number 6. Some have no location markers. So now this is between Java and Bedrock. Maps will typically have a location marker since they have been created with a compass. This is very useful since it will help the players orientate themselves on the map, uncovering more environment. In Java, this is the only way to make a map by surrounding a compass with 8 pieces of paper. But in Bedrock, they're more lucky, since it's possible to make maps with no location markers by simply placing 9 pieces of paper in the crafting square. The drawback is also that it's more difficult to figure out the locations of such a map, but it is still an option when iron or redstone are not available for the players. Pretty cool to know. Next one is number 5. The maximum radius is massive. The first map a player creates is likely to be quite small. It only covers a set area of a single map, which can showcase about 2048 by 2048 blocks. Now that might seem like it's a lot, but in the big thing, that's not that big. This is relatively quite small. So what we can do is to make an absolutely gigantic map, combining a bunch of these maps upgraded on the maps and the frames. By placing them side by side, you can create some of the most impressive wall art. It can also help players kind of see the whole area in survival worlds, and maybe they want to do big tracking, you know, they can just learn more about the world, and that's how we did it in real life. So this is quite a cool thing. I'm going to show you how to do it now. Alright, so let's get started. So how are you going to make this gigantic map? Alright, so you can put your item frames, you can do 9, you can do however many you want, but I'm going to do 9 for today. I'm not going to actually complete all of them. I just want to show you the gist of how to do it. So what you're going to do is you're going to go and get your maps. So make sure you have your maps. I showed you how to create those. And then the next thing you want to do is you want to place it right in the middle of this. It's going to be your spawn spot. Alright, so make sure you are right in the middle. And you can do it right here in the base. Now, you see, you made your map, but there's a bit of area there that is not being loaded, like I told you before. Make sure you load that in. It'll be very important. So just move into that area and it should generate. There it is. Okay, now the next thing you want to do is, well, as you can see, the map ends right at the bottom there. You can't go any further and you start moving and your dot changes, right? Keep that in mind. I'll be talking about it later. So now we're going to go until the end until it changes, and then you want to reload your map, or you want to create a new map, sorry, and you're going to move out and make the render blocks all the way until the end, just like I told you in the other one. And you're going to do this for each side, and that's how you kind of create them to link up. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in the house now, and we're going to show you how we are going to. So put the middle one in there, and that's not correct. Now you got to go move around, and that's not correct. You got to move around, and just remember, because it does get kind of confusing of where it is, and that seems like it's correct, because remember we went down from the house. So let's see, is that correct? You just got to try it all over. Alright, so we're going to speed it up just a bit. Well, not speed it up. I just want to show you the snippets of me moving around and going to the areas to go locate these things and, you know, render the area so you can see it's rendering there all the way. And then we're going to create this giant map. Now, I'm not going to do the big thing, but you guys can. And I've got the pieces, so I'm going to find out where they fit. Now, it's a bit of trial and error, or you can keep track and do each one separately, but I was a bit lazy, and I just did it like this. But you can basically have a whole entire wall just going and showing you as far as possible, as far as you want it to. So that's a pretty cool feature that they have with the maps, and you can link them up. It takes a bit of time, but it's not that bad. Now the next one we have here is banners can be used as a waypoint, which is quite interesting to me because I actually didn't know that until this video was created. So maps obviously show as much structures as are visible in the sky, but it also might be useful to use a flag or a banner, as we call it, especially in the large LAN worlds. You know, in survival servers, you can make it easier for your other people to see this is your area. You know, don't come to me, or this is my place. You can come to my place. So this is after crafting a banner, place it down and interact with it with a map that it has a view of the area banner. The banner then will appear on the map and marker. Even in solo survival worlds, this isn't a bad idea if your player has multiple houses or locations or interests they'd like to go back to. Now the next one's gonna blow you away. Number 3, maps don't work in the Nether. So what about the Nether? The Nether is a special case, an area that's quite difficult to get around. And this is because compasses and clocks are completely confused. And you can see on my compass and my clock here, they are just going crazy. And you cannot use maps. So I'm testing it out, and as you can see, it's just generating that, which is not going to help you in the Nether. So yes, compasses go crazy, as you can see, and the clocks are just going mad. So it's not going to work using a map in the Nether. The main issue is that maps rely on sky view of the area they need to cover. And since the Nether is a cave dimension with the ceiling of bedrock, it is impossible for the game to create a readable map for the players. A little information if you wanted to know. Alright, and number 2, the size of the dot is very important. After some trading with the villagers, and it's likely the player will get their hands on a woodland explorer map or an ocean monument map. Even with the buried treasures, the principle is very much the same, as usual shown in the area as grayed out, and hasn't been explored yet by the player. Pay attention to the small white dot in the corner of the map. That's completely grayed out. The smaller it is, the further away the actual location pictured on the map is. As the player approaches the area, the dot will begin to grow in size. And for number 1, the changes do not appear automatically. Unfortunately, maps do not update automatically. That would be pretty cool, but we can't have it all. Once a specific area has been mapped by the player and they leave the area and place the map down, the map won't update until it is brought back into that area. If the player builds a house in a specific location which has previously been mapped while it's empty, it is a good idea to bring the map back to the spot and make sure that accordingly it shows its changes made on the surface, which is quite cool. I think it's not a bad thing to put in. Maybe they can put in updates in the later stage, but I think they focus more on caves at the moment. Alright, and that's 10 things you didn't know about Minecraft maps. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. If you didn't know, put them down in the comments down below. And if you guys did enjoy this, remember to give that like button a love tap and a subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time on DAB when we learn more about Minecraft. So see you guys next time. DAB works. Peace, guys.